Kanye West is the most influential artist of the 21st century. Over the past 20 years, no other artist has remained as relevant as he has, while continuously pushing music to new heights with each and every release. But aside from his music, Kanye is also just one of the most polarizing humans on the planet in general. He is on the short list of celebrities who have remained under the spotlight for their entire career, and along the way, this has made for so many unforgettable moments. So whether you know him for his musical genius or for his countless moments under the public spotlight, you definitely know Kanye on some level. But just how far does your knowledge of Kanye really go? Does it merely lie at the tip of the iceberg, or does it exist deep beneath the surface? In this two-part series, I'm going to be taking a deep dive and fully explaining the ultimate Kanye West iceberg, a journey covering everything there is to know about one of the most iconic artists in the world. But before we begin, I have to first give a huge shout out and thanks to my friend KingKon2K11 for giving me the idea for this video and helping me edit it along the way. If you haven't ever seen his videos, please head over to his channel and show him some support. He makes great music videos for all types of artists, both unofficial and official, including some great fan-made videos for several Kanye tracks, like Lift Yourself, Fourth Dimension, and Deja Vu. To create the ultimate Kanye West iceberg, KingKon and I pulled topics from 3 different posts we found on Reddit, as well as added a bunch of additional topics ourselves. In the end, what we created was absolutely massive in scale, which is why this is a 2-part series. It just would have been impossible to fully cover all of this in one video. So without further ado, let's jump into it, and find out just how deep your knowledge of Kanye truly goes. Gold Digger. I'm not entirely sure why, but this is the one Kanye song that literally everyone knows. Whether this for your brother, your sister, mom, dad, aunt, uncle, it really doesn't matter. Everyone is going to be singing along. Taylor Swift VMA incident. Ah yes, the year is 2009, and an innocent 19-year-old Taylor Swift is accepting her award for Best Female Music Video. She is on stage in the middle of her speech when a drunk Kanye West storms the VMA stage and takes the mic off of her hands. He tells her that he'll let her finish, but that Beyonce had one of the best music videos of all time, and then he hands her the mic back.
Yo, Taylor, I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish, but Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time. One of the best videos of all time.
A truly unforgettable moment that was everywhere in the media at the time, and proved to significantly impact both Kanye and Taylor on a personal level during the years to come. Yeezy shoes. Yeezy is Kanye's billion-dollar clothing line, and the Yeezy shoe is an absolute staple of modern fashion.
Yeezy is the Lamborghini of shoes.
If you haven't ever rocked Yeezys yourself, you definitely know someone that has. I mean, even Taylor Swift has been caught wearing these iconic kicks. Kanye is a producer. Yes, aside from rapping, Kanye produces as well, and in many ways, he's a producer first. Before he ever laid down a verse, Kanye got his start producing tracks for local artists in his hometown of Chicago in the mid-1990s, before getting his big break in the year 2000 when he produced a handful of tracks for Jay-Z, but more on that later. Kanye has produced every single one of his albums since first erupting onto the scene with The College Dropout, working alongside many of the greats in the industry to continually push hip-hop to new heights with each and every release. Trump support. Kanye publicly endorsed Donald Trump back in 2018, posting various photos of himself online wearing the infamous MAGA hat, and even meeting with the president in the Oval Office that year. Kim Ye. Kanye West married Kim Kardashian back in 2014, and the couple have been happily married since... Oh, never mind. 4 kids. Kanye has a total of 4 kids with Kim Kardashian, 2 daughters, North and Chicago, and 2 sons, Saint and Sam. Yandhi. Yandhi is the name of a scrapped album that Kanye announced on Twitter back in September of 2018. The project was supposed to be released on September the 29th.
So you said the album was coming out on Saturday. It didn't come out. What happened?
I didn't finish it.
before getting pushed back to November the 23rd, and then eventually just getting scrapped altogether, as he would go on to undergo a complete religious transformation and opt to release Jesus is King instead. However, an uncompleted version of the original Yandhi album leaked back in August of 2019, with the album now becoming a source of lost potential in the hip-hop community. For more on the story of Yandhi, and for a thorough analysis of one of the highlight tracks on the project, go check out my video in which I break down the song Alien, a monumental track that perfectly showcases the untapped potential of Yandhi. Jay-Z helped launch Kanye's career. In 1999, an A&R at Jay-Z's Rockefeller Records named Joshua Hip Hop Kiambo picked out one of Kanye's beats for Beanie Sigel, in what would eventually become the title track off of his 1999 album The Truth, with the song receiving mild success and peaking at number 23 on the Billboard rap charts.
Nigga, the truth. Every time I step in a booth, I speak the truth. Y'all know what I'm bringing to you. I bring the truth. You motherfuckers know who I be. I be the truth. When I speak, set you free.
After years of making beats for local artists in Chicago, Kanye now officially had his foot in the door, and through his relationship with his mentor No ID, someone who already had a relationship with his A&R at Rockefeller, Kanye was able to keep progressing his relationship with Jay-Z's label. It was only a matter of time before he would first connect with Jay on a track, with the moment finally coming in the year 2000, as he produced the track This Can't Be Life off of Jay-Z's compilation album titled The Dynasty. The track is especially notable as it's the very first example of Kanye's signature chipmunk sampling style, in which he would pitch up old soul samples. However, Kanye has actually gone on record telling us that he really didn't dig this track at the time, as he pictured Jay-Z rapping in a more braggadocious style, instead of the more introspective tone that he ended up going with. But thankfully, Kanye and Jay's relationship would not end with just this one track. After Kanye got evicted from his apartment in Chicago that year, he would move to Newark, New Jersey, and aim to connect with Jay-Z on future projects. And that year, in a now legendary studio session at Baseline Studios, Kanye would blow Jay-Z away with his innovative soulful production, with 5 of his beats ending up on Jay-Z's 2001 classic album, The Blueprint, including classics like Takeover, Heart of the City, and Izzo, which would become Jay-Z's first top 10 Billboard hit. Kanye would use the success and momentum of his production on The Blueprint to launch his career as an artist. However, the only problem was, during this time, Kanye was still only looked at as a producer, and labels were reluctant to sign him as a rapper. Coming from a more suburban background, Kanye didn't fit the prevailing gangsta image throughout hip-hop during the time, so labels didn't want anything to do with him. But after a potential deal with Capitol Records fell through in 2002, the co-founder of Rockefeller Records, Dame Dash, would reluctantly sign Kanye to the label as a rapper, really only signing him because they didn't want to lose him as a producer. And well, the rest is history. Kanye would prove all the doubters wrong with the release of his debut album The College Dropout in 2004, successfully earning his respect as a rapper and launching him into the mainstream. Car accident. Just 2 weeks after signing the deal with Rockefeller Records back in 2002, Kanye was driving home from a late-night studio session in California when he had a nearly fatal car accident, falling asleep at the wheel and crashing his car head-on into an oncoming vehicle. The accident left Kanye's jaw completely shattered, as it would have to be wired to his face during reconstructive surgery. But Kanye wouldn't let this near-death experience stop him from rapping, as he would go on to record his track Through the Wire just 2 weeks later, quite literally spitting the verses to the song with his mouth still wired shut. During the original version of the track, it's incredibly noticeable that his mouth is wired shut, as he would later go on to re-record the verses and layer them over the original recording in order to improve enunciation and clarity.
I drink a boost for breakfast and ensure for dessert. Somebody order pancakes, I just sip the scissor. That right there could drive a sane man berserk. Not to worry, Mr. Ace of the Izzles back to Wizard. I drink a boost for breakfast and ensure for dessert. Somebody order pancakes, I just sip the scissor. That right there could drive a sane man berserk. Not to worry, Mr. Ace of the Izzles back to Wizard.
The track would end up as the first single on his debut album The College Dropout, although the original recording was released on his mixtape titled Get Well Soon. In addition to the clear differences in Kanye's voice, the original version also has one slightly different line, as Kanye originally rapped in the same hospital where Big and Tupac died. However, Kanye must have found out that it was actually only Biggie that died in the Cedars-Sinai Medical Center that he resided in that night. as Tupac actually died in the University Medical Center of Southern Nevada, so he corrected himself and changed the line during the final version.
In the same hospital where Big and Tupac died, the doctor said I had blood clots, but I ain't Jamaican, man. In the same hospital where Biggie Smalls died, the doctor said I had blood clots, but I ain't Jamaican, man.
Kanye helped launch Kid Cudi's career. Much like how Jay-Z was influential in helping launch Kanye's career, Kanye was instrumental in helping launch the career of Kid Cudi. Kanye actually first met Cudi all the way back in 2004, as Cudi recalled during an interview with MTV that one day the two of them just happened to both be looking for CDs at the Virgin Megastore in New York City. At the time, Cudi had just moved out of his hometown in Cleveland to live with his uncle in the city and pursue a music career, so he admitted to MTV that he wasn't really that great of an artist at the time. Still though, given this golden opportunity, he went up to Kanye and introduced himself as Scott, before asking Kanye to sign him to his label, despite having little to no pitch at the time. According to Cudi, Kanye respectively declined, but before he left, he was able to tell him that his rap name was Kid Cudi, and to look out for him in the future. And funny enough, the two of them would later meet again in New York City when Kanye went into the Bape store in Soho that Cudi was working at the time, as Cudi has since recalled having to chase Kanye out of the store after he forgot to take off one of the anti-theft tags from one of the jackets that Kanye had bought. The two of them wouldn't cross paths again until 2008, but this is the year where it really all went down. That year, Cudi would release his debut mixtape titled A Kid Named Cudi, which was produced by Plain Pat and Emil. Plain Pat, who already had connections working with Kanye in the past, decided to send him the album, and well, upon listening, Kanye absolutely loved it.
Cause day and night, the lonely stoner seems to free his mind at night.
As he would even go on to show up at the project's release party that year. And well, the rest is history. Cudi would end up having a significant influence on the sonic direction and overall style of Kanye's 2008 classic album, 808s and Heartbreak, as he even helped write 4 of the tracks on the album, as well as provided vocals for the hooks on both Welcome to Heartbreak and Paranoid. This effectively helped launch Cudi's career and expose his innovative style of hip-hop to the mainstream, which focused heavily on melody and dove into the previous taboo topic of mental health, proving to have a huge influence on Kanye during the creation of the entire 808s project, an album that would in turn go on to influence an entire new generation of hip-hop artists, which leads us perfectly into the next topic: the impact of 808s and Heartbreak. 808s and Heartbreak is the single most influential hip-hop album to come out in the 2000s. After the shocking death of his mother Donda in 2007, as well as the breakup of his then-fiancée Alexis Pfeiffer, Kanye was left completely heartbroken, as he needed a completely new sound and style in order to properly express his pain on a record. Kanye gravitated to the 808 drum machine and to the use of auto-tune vocals, in what proved to be a match made in heaven. It was a combination of sounds that allowed Kanye to pour his heart out over a completely new sonic landscape. His auto-tune vocals were filled with sorrow, and the deep 808s provided them with a dense layer to exist over.
Hey, 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 don't say you will, then play you will, I pray you will.
Everything that Kanye made his name on, from the soulful sample-based production to the braggadocious lyrics and to the larger-than-life persona, was nowhere to be found. Kanye completely transformed his sound to exist with all but no samples, choosing to instead dive into the dense sound of the 808 and focus heavily on melody, as he aimed to express his pain and vulnerabilities in a way that hip-hop artists just simply had never done before.
Seems like street lights glowing happen to be just like moments passing in front of me. In the night I hear him talk, the coldest story ever told. Somewhere far along this road he lost his soul to a woman so heartless. Memories made in the coldest winter.
13 years later, and the album is still having its impact today. Take a look at mainstream hip-hop today, and what are the two elements which can be found in almost every hit song? It's that iconic deep 808 and its melody, a combination of sound which Kanye pioneered on this project. And not only that, but the emotional content that we see today on these hit songs also mirrors what Kanye was doing back in 2008. It's hard to imagine songs like Lil Uzi Vert's XO Tour Life and Juice WRLD's Lucid Dreams without the existence of 808s and heartbreak.
I don't really care if you cry. I don't really shouldn't have a lie. Should've saw the way she looked me in my eyes. She said, baby, I am not afraid to die. I still see your shadows in my room. Can't take back the love that I gave you. It's to the point where I love and I hate you, and I cannot change you, so I must replace you.
So it's no wonder that these two have actually both gone on record, citing this album as being hugely influential to their sound.
Damn, you just had to throw this in here. I need to like my shit, hold on. Seems like street lights glowing, happen to be just like moments passing. This is my shit, bro. This nigga, you know how people talk about those time travelers? Kanye is a time traveler. That nigga went to damn near 2015 and came back with some sauce.
What do you mean with drum? You don't use drums?
Yeah, but it's 808s.
That's it.
Because they're all 808 and heartbreak dudes. They all just want boom.
Yeah.
This is why you want to know that there's a huge disconnect between the adults and kids of hip hop.
Yeah.
The album that most adults, not me, but the album that most adults said, this shit sucks. I don't ever want to hear this from Kanye West again. The kids were all like, this is finally the Kanye West I was waiting for. Boom, hip hop divides. Old and young, right there.
Changing my life.
I like both.
808s changed your life.
Yeah, it was fire.
Kanye 2020. Kanye ran for president during the 2020 election, and well, given his past relationship with Trump, people initially theorized that he was running in an attempt to steal votes from the Democratic nominee. In an interview with Forbes magazine, Kanye didn't deny the possibility of taking votes from Joe Biden. However, he made it clear that he no longer supports Donald Trump. Of course though, his run would end up having no actual effect on the result of the election. Lived in China. At the age of 10, Kanye moved to Nanjing, China with his mother Donda, who got a job teaching at Nanjing University as part of an exchange program. According to his mom, despite being the only foreigner in his class, Kanye quickly picked up the language and settled into his new life rather well. However, Kanye would only end up spending 1 year there, and has therefore since forgotten most of the language. George Bush incident. It's September 2nd of 2005, and the entire country is still grieving from the devastating Category 5 Hurricane Katrina that resulted in 1,800 deaths and catastrophic damage to the city of New Orleans. That day, NBC aired the Concert for Hurricane Relief, a special during which various celebrities appeared on air to encourage people to call in and donate to the American Red Cross Disaster Relief Fund. Kanye, frustrated with the way the country was handling the disaster, and specifically the way people were viewing and treating the black victims, goes off script and delivers this unforgettable line on live TV.
Ended up being the most tragic loss of all.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Please call.
How, Sway? On a Sway in the Morning interview from 2013, Kanye began to angrily rant about the fashion industry and their refusal to work with him, when suddenly, Sway suggested Kanye take a step back, empower himself, and figure out how to break into the industry by himself. And well, Kanye wasn't too thrilled with him, leading to this iconic moment.
How, Sway?
Take a few steps back to go.
You ain't got the answers, man. You ain't got the answers. You ain't got the answers. You ain't got the answers, Sway.
Kanye,
I've been doing this more than you.
Doing what?
You ain't got.
Me?
Late Orchestration. Late Orchestration is a live album that was released back in 2006, featuring a live performance at Abbey Road Studios, during which Kanye was backed by a 17-piece orchestra, performing songs from his first two studio albums, The College Dropout and Late Registration.
Throw your diamonds in the sky if you feel the vibe. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The rock is still alive every time I rhyme. I say this forever, ever, forever, ever, 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 ever.
For some reason, the album is not on Spotify, but you can find it on both Apple Music and on YouTube. In addition, this is perhaps the holy grail of Kanye West vinyl, with the physical version on wax selling for an average price of $320 on the popular vinyl marketplace Discogs. St. Pablo Tour. The St. Pablo Tour was a concert tour that Kanye held in 2016 in order to support the release of his album The Life of Pablo. The tour was extremely unique in its stage presentation, as Kanye performed every night atop a giant floating platform which resided above the audience. The tour was originally planned to go on for 4 months, but in November, things started to fall apart. During a show in Inglewood early in the month, Kanye had to cut the show short because of frustrations with his vocal performance.
I'm very sorry. I love you. I promise you'll do better next time.
And then during the next show in San Jose later that month, Kanye would stop his performance to rant about politics for 25 minutes straight, telling the audience that if he would have voted during the last election, he would have voted for Donald Trump.
But if I would have voted, I would have voted on Trump.
It all came to an end during the next performance in Sacramento, when Kanye arrived 90 minutes late, performed only a few songs, and then proceeded to launch into another huge rant.
But he just can't see to get Kanye fresh, but he still will. Hey, stop it. Hey, radio, fuck you. Radio, fuck you.
This time jumping from subject to subject and criticizing everyone from Mark Zuckerberg, Hillary Clinton, Beyonce, and Jay-Z, as he would even share personal information about his relationships before walking off.
Jay-Z called me, bro. You still ain't called me. Jay-Z called me. Hey, bro, Jay-Z, I know you got killers. Please don't send them out my head. Just call me.
The remaining dates on the St. Pablo Tour were immediately canceled following the show, and Kanye, with his mental health spiraling out of control, was hospitalized hours after. Slavery comments. In May of 2018, Kanye went to the TMZ headquarters to rant about various topics, including the topic of slavery, in which he had to say,
"When you hear about slavery for 400 years, that sounds like a choice. Like, you was there for 400 years and it's all of y'all? You know, like..."
Yandhi tracks on Jesus is King. On Kanye's 2019 album Jesus is King, there are a total of 3 songs that are reworks of tracks originally intended to be released on Yandhi, as they were transformed in order to fit the new religious direction that Kanye went with on the project. Chakras became Salah, The Storm became Everything We Need, and The Law of Attraction became Use This Gospel.
Before the flood, niggas judge. They did the same thing to Noah. Everybody need Yandhi. My cousin's mad at my auntie.
Before the flood, people judge. They did the same thing to Noah. Everybody wanted Yandhi. That Jesus Christ did the laundry.
Switch your attitude. Go and level up yourself. This that different latitude. Switch your attitude. Go and level up yourself. This that different latitude.
The law of attraction. Be careful what you ask for. Means I got what I asked for. Exactly what I asked for.
Use this gospel for protection. It's a hard road to heaven. We call on your blessings. In the Father, we put our faith.
B by Common. Common's B is a project released in 2005 that was almost entirely produced by Kanye. 9 out of the 11 tracks on the album were produced by Ye, with the other 2 being produced by Jay Dilla, which makes this album one of the best produced hip-hop products of all time, in my humble opinion.
Yes. I wanna be as free as the spirits of those who left. I'm talking Malcolm, Coltrane, my man Yusef.
Hawaii Sessions. Kanye first flew to Hawaii to record during sessions for his 2008 project 808s and Heartbreak, as well as sessions for Jay-Z's 2009 album, The Blueprint 3. The serene and quiet location in Honolulu would give Kanye an opportunity to find peace during a very tumultuous time in his life. As we already talked about before, the sudden breakup with his girlfriend, and the tragic death of his mother were heavily weighing down on him during this time, so Hawaii became a great retreat for him that year. And well, during the following year in 2009, Kanye would need his safe haven in Hawaii more than ever. Following the infamous VMA incident with Taylor Swift that year, Kanye found himself being portrayed as a villain everywhere in the eyes of the public, as it was impossible to escape the constant negative attention from the media. Basically, everyone was hating on him at the time. I mean, even President Barack Obama would famously call him a jackass that year.
The young lady seems like a perfectly nice person. She's getting her award. What's he doing?
Why would he do that?
He's a jackass.
Kanye was ashamed of his actions, as he issued a teary and sincere apology on national television.
It was rude, period. And, you know, I'd like to be able to apologize to her in person. And, you know, I've never taken the time off to really, you know, just music after music and tour after tour and tour. And I'm just ashamed that my hurt caused, you know, someone else's hurt. And if there's anything I could do to help Taylor in the future or help anyone, I like, because, you know, I want to live this thing. It's hard, you know, it's sometimes, so.
But still, people everywhere were seriously doubting whether he could come back from this, as it seemed that he had effectively ruined his whole career. Kanye knew that he had to earn respect back from the public, as he has gone on record saying that he felt his life depended on the success of his next album.
Because I really put myself in a zone that I felt like my life was dependent on the success of this album. You know, and with that being the case, I said, you know what? No matter what anybody says about me, they won't. I can write something that can make someone that hates me the most have to really respect or love the song.
So that year, Kanye packed his bags and returned to Hawaii on a self-imposed exile, escaping the looming cloud that the media had casted over him. Kanye knew that he had only one goal in Hawaii: to craft the absolute best work of art that he was capable of making. So he began working on his masterpiece, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Kanye flew in a super team of artists to Hawaii, which included some of the most legendary rappers, producers, and singers in music, as well as new and rising stars who were destined for greatness. The long list included the likes of RZA, Jay-Z, Q-Tip, Drake, Common, DJ Premier, Nicki Minaj, John Legend, Rihanna, Kid Cudi, Raekwon, Mos Def, Alicia Keys, Pusha T, Rick Ross, Charlie Wilson, Pete Rock, Madlib, and even Elton John. The talent was truly off the charts. Kanye became the creative director behind his masterpiece, booking the studio's 3 rooms for 24 hours a day, as it was reported that Kanye never spent a full night sleeping during these sessions, only opting to take power naps 90 minutes at a time. Kanye wanted the project to be done in complete secrecy, so he posted a list of rules on the studio walls. Among them, no tweeting, no taking pictures, and total focus on the project at hand. In addition, Kanye made everyone in the studio wear suits, in order to set the precedent that this was serious business. After all, this album was to be his Mona Lisa. It has been reported by Kanye that songs like Power quite literally took 5,000 hours to make.
These are like paintings, especially for this album. Like sometimes we go on Good Fridays and just joke around and put out, you know, what we're feeling off the cuss. But this Power, 5,000 hours, 5,000 man hours to make the song.
And well, that's exactly what it sounds like. Every song that came out of these sessions sounds like they were crafted to perfection, and that's why many consider My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy to be one of the greatest albums of all time, with Rolling Stone even just recently putting it at number 17 on their new Top 500 list. Taylor Swift's famous line. On Kanye's 2016 song Famous, there is a notorious line about Taylor Swift, a line in which Kanye references his 2009 incident with her, arguing that he effectively made her famous on that night.
For all my Southside niggas that know me best, I feel like me and Taylor might still have sex. Why? I made that bitch famous. Goddamn! I made that bitch famous.
In addition to this lyric, a Taylor Swift lookalike was even featured during the track's extremely not safe for work music video. After the track's release, there was a whole new controversy that sparked between Kanye, Taylor, and Kim Kardashian. But we'll talk more about all of that in part 2. iPhone vocals. Following the release of Jesus is King, Kanye revealed during an interview with GQ that around 20% of the album was actually recorded using his iPhone mic, including the lines, "Closed on Sunday, you my Chick-fil-A."
Close on Sunday, you my Chick-fil-A.
So Help Me God. So Help Me God is the name of a scrapped album that Kanye announced back in 2015. The 3 singles he released around this time, All Day, Only One, and 4 5 Seconds, were all believed to be a part of this project. However, as we all know, this project would never be released, with the whole album eventually morphing into The Life of Pablo. It's also worth noting that Kanye threw around calling this album Swish and Waves before he ultimately went with The Life of Pablo. Fingers in his what? One day back in 2016, Kanye started going off on Wiz Khalifa on Twitter after Kanye thought he had dissed his wife Kim Kardashian. Eventually, after some back and forth, the tweets began to turn personal, as Kanye would bring up their shared ex Amber Rose, who Kanye dated from 2008 to 2010, and who Wiz married and had a kid with, before ultimately calling it quits after a year. In the tweets, Kanye references Amber Rose's past profession as a stripper, telling Wiz, "You let a stripper trap you," and "I know you mad every time you look at your child, but this girl got you for 18 years. After seeing these tweets herself, Amber Rose decided to join the conversation, and well, she would gift the world a very interesting revelation about Kanye. Watch The Throne 2. On September 8th of 2018, Kanye tweeted out, "Throne 2 coming soon," referring to a upcoming sequel of his and Jay-Z's 2011 collab album, Watch the Throne. However, nothing has come of it since this tweet, and Jay-Z and Kanye's relationship has seemed to fall apart since this time, so I'm not sure we'll ever be getting it anytime soon. The Life of Pablo original version. The Life of Pablo was a unique project in that it was an ever-evolving work of art. Kanye wanted to take advantage of our digital times and the ability for constant evolution and improvement. Much like how the apps on our phones are continuously updated over time to improve quality, Kanye was continually making changes to this album after its initial release. And because of this, the original Day One project is much different than the version that we all have now. I'm not going to get into the little details of all the changes, but among the most notable were the addition of a completely new closing track titled St. Pablo,
And you're looking at the church and the father, wondering what the dog's gonna say.
the complete revamp of Wolves,
Right now, right now, right now, right now, right now, right now.
and even a line change on Famous.
That Benz Marina Del Rey coasting. She be Puerto Rican Day Parade waving. That Benz Marina Del Rey coasting. She in school to be a real estate agent.
Love Everyone. Love Everyone was the title of an album that was scrapped a month before the release of Kanye's 2018 album Ye. This is the album that Kanye is said to have played for both Charlemagne and the entire TMZ headquarters after meeting with both of them in late April and early May of 2018. However, after his appearance at the TMZ headquarters resulted in a long rant and the infamous "slavery was a choice" comments, Kanye reportedly scrapped the whole album, and then made Ye the following month, up until its June 1st release. Songs that are believed to have potentially been a part of this lost album are Ecstasy, Ye vs. the People, and maybe even a real version of Lift Yourself with actual lyrics. The concept of the album is right in the title, as Kanye wanted it to be a therapeutic listen filled with healing and forgiveness, even going so far as to make the cover of the album a photo of the surgeon who is believed to have contributed to his mother's death back in 2007. However, after Kanye posted this on Twitter, the surgeon contacted him and told him that he couldn't use the photo for his album cover. But still, he gave his willingness to speak with Kanye in person, offering him a chance to heal. Good Ass Job. Back in 2003, in an interview with MTV, Kanye laid out his plans for his first 4 albums, which were all to be a part of a sort of theme. They were to be named The College Dropout, Late Registration, Graduation, and Good Ass Job. Now, of course, the first 3 albums here Kanye released as promised, but Good Ass Job never came to fruition. Why? Well, after the release of Graduation, Kanye's life took a dark turn. As we've talked about before already, that year in 2007, Kanye was dealing with the breakup of his then fiancée Alexis Pfeiffer, as well as the tragic death of his mother. And because of this, Kanye's prior plans to release Good Ass Job were put on hold, as he would go on to create his emotional masterpiece 808s and Heartbreak. Still though, after the release of this project, people expected Kanye to go back and complete the series of albums that he had promised back in 2003, therefore releasing Good Ass Job next. But in 2010, Kanye would reveal on Twitter that his new album would in fact not be called Good Ass Job, tweeting out that the title would be My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. So the potential for Good Ass Job would officially be put to bed that day. That is, until 8 years later in 2018, when Chance the Rapper tweeted out a video of Kanye at his open mic event in Chicago, during which Kanye tells the audience that him and Chance are working on a collaborative project.
Me and Chance working on a new album.
Titled, you guessed it, Good Ass Job.
It's called Good Ass Job.
However, nothing has come of the album since. Cruel Winter. Cruel Winter is the name of the planned follow-up to the 2012 compilation album Cruel Summer, made by Kanye's label Good Music. The first single to the project, Champions, was released back in 2016.
Fresh out of debt in this motherfucker, and they still ain't ready yet for a motherfucker.
However, nothing ever came of the project since its release. Wolves album. Wolves is the name of the collaborative project with Drake that Kanye teased back in 2015. In an interview with the Breakfast Club at the time, Kanye revealed that the song Wolves, off of The Life of Pablo, was actually inspired by conversations he and Drake had revolving around their planned album of the same name.
The Wolves song came from a conversation that me and Drake had where we was going to do an album together. And the album is called Wolves.
In August of 2016, at Drake's OVO Fest, Kanye would make a special appearance, as he would even ask the crowd if they were ready for their upcoming collab album.
Is y'all ready for this album? Wait a second, stop. Now I want to talk about Pablo. I want to talk about views. I want to ask y'all right now, y'all ready for this album?
And what my brother was asking you before was, are you ready if we make the album? That's what he was asking.
And then a month later, a mysterious sign would pop up in LA, reading, Calabasas is the new Abu Dhabi, with the respective logos of Drake and Kanye's labels appearing side by side at the bottom. But, as has been a trend with these unreleased projects, nothing ever came of it. This time, for reasons we will discuss later. 000000. During Kanye's meeting with Trump back in 2018, he pulled out his phone in order to pitch the idea of the iPlane 1, a futuristic hydrogen-powered plane that would be manufactured by Apple. As he pulled out his phone, the video would capture Kanye's lock screen password, which was literally just 6 zeros. Not exactly the best security for a well-known celebrity. Maybe this is why Kanye can't keep his songs from leaking. TurboGrafx 16. In February of 2016, fresh off the release of The Life of Pablo, Kanye announced on Twitter that his next album would be called TurboGrafx 16, and that it would be coming in summer of 2016. Inspired by the 1989 US video game console of the same name, he promised that the album would be on some super nerd vibes, and would likely be inspired by the synth-heavy sounds heard in video game music. That year, Pete Rock even uploaded 2 videos of him in the studio with Kanye, one captioned, Playing 45s in the lab with Kanye West. And in the other video, there was a list of video games on a sheet of paper that people theorized was a list of the games they were sampling from for the album. However, nothing ever came of the project. Kim cheated on Kanye with Meek Mill? In July of 2020, Kanye hopped on Twitter to write a series of tweets suggesting that he had been trying to divorce Kim Kardashian ever since he met with Meek Mill at the Waldorf for prison reform, suggesting that the two had in fact slept together that night. However, Meek Mill denied Kanye's accusations shortly after, and the tweets have since been deleted. Lift Yourself beat, originally for Drake. In a talk Drake had with LeBron James on the HBO show The Shop in 2018, Drake revealed that the now infamous Lift Yourself beat, the beat on which Kanye trolled the world with a comedic verse filled with nonsense,
Whoopie scoop, scoop dee whoop, whoop dee scoop dee poop, poop dee scoop dee whoop, whoopie dee scoop whoop poop,
was actually originally meant for himself.
And then from there, it was all good, you know? He played me like this.
He played you a beat, right?
He played me Lift Yourself, and he was like, yo, you can have this if you want. And I was hype. I started writing to it, and then he was like, yo, you gotta come to Wyoming.
Drake was upset that Kanye would release the song without telling him, and took it as Kanye personally trolling him.
Lift Yourself comes out with him just talking nonsense. I'm like, oh,
Scoobity poop that round, yeah.
Oh, this guy's trolling. Yeah. This guy's trolling me. Yeah, he's this was like a manipulative, like, I want to break you thing. So I said, all right, I'm gonna go back to distancing myself again. I know what this is.
So you might be wondering, how did we get here after the two of them were supposed to drop a collab album in 2016? Well, that year, during Kanye's St. Pablo tour, you know, the one where he was ranting uncontrollably on stage, Kanye went off on both DJ Khaled and Drake for using their status to get their song for free on the radio, which is really the start of their beef together.
Is it just me? But did you hear that song so many times? You seen one pay for free. Hey, you know what it is though? Cause I love Drake, I love Khaled, but they set that song up, bro.
That same year, Drake would go on to release a track on which he disses both Pusha T and Kid Cudi, two close friends of Kanye. Now, the Pusha diss was to be expected, because the two of them had already been beefing for a while, but the Kid Cudi diss was really uncalled for, as Drake called out Kid Cudi for his mental problems the same year that he had been checked into rehab for suicidal urges and depression.
You were the man on the moon, now you just go through your phases, life of the angry and famous.
With Cudi being one of Kanye's longtime friends, I imagine this didn't sit well with him. And Kanye's tweets from 2018 confirm this. Tension built further between the two in 2018 as Kanye would go on a run and release 4 albums in June, announcing them right after Drake had announced that his upcoming project Scorpion was releasing that month.
Wake up, and all these dates are out, one by one, all around June 15th, by the way.
Correct.
One's May 31st, one's June, whatever.
First, second, June this, June that.
And to make matters even worse, it didn't help that Pusha T, a signee on Kanye's label Good Music, would go on to diss Drake on one of the albums he released during this period.
And then the first album drops, and of course there's a diss song towards me you produced that's talking about writing?
The album was Daytona, and it was entirely produced by Kanye, with Pusha T dissing Drake on the track titled Infrared.
The game's fucked up, niggas beats is banging, nigga your hooks did it. The lyric penning equal to Trump's winning. The bigger question is how the Russians did it. It was written like Nas, but it came from Quentin.
And Pusha would of course follow up this diss with another ruthless attack on Drake titled The Story of Adidon, revealing to the world that Drake had been hiding a kid.
You are hiding a child, let that boy come home. Deadbeat motherfucker playing border patrol. Ooh, Adonis is your son, and he deserves more than an Adidas press run. That's real.
And well, this didn't exactly sit well with Drake. Kanye later apologized to Drake for his involvement in the Pusha T diss toward him, wishing that he had not been involved in such negativity. In addition, he also apologized for stepping on Drake's release date, and even apologized for releasing Lift Yourself without first giving him the opportunity to record over the beat. But at that point, it was too late, and their relationship has never recovered since. Hold on, this train going by. In September of 2018, Kanye took to Instagram to rant about his feud revolving around Drake. But in the middle of the rant, Kanye was forced to stop talking as he had to let a train pass by, making for this hilarious clip.
Now the next thing is with Drake. Yeah, I told you that if I wasn't in a medicated state, I might have had the thoughts to, hold on, this train going by. Now, if I wasn't in a medicated state.
Maybike. In December of 2018, Kanye posted a clip of himself riding in San Francisco on his self-proclaimed Maybike.
Yo, we in San Fran. I'm on the Maybike. Y'all got the Maybach, I'm on the Maybike. Look at that. Ah. Look at that. Pulling up in the Maybike. Ah. You know what I'm talking about?
Aziz Ansari. Comedian Aziz Ansari has had a friendly relationship with Kanye in the past, revealing in a podcast with Bill Simmons that he was closest to Kanye around the making of Watch the Throne in 2011.
And then I started going when they were recording Watch the Throne. So I was there for a lot of the Watch the Throne recording, which is one of the coolest things I've ever gotten to see.
Which is probably why he can be spotted in the music video for Otis.
Jay is chillin', Ye is chillin'. What more can I say? We killin' them. Hold up, before we end this campaign.
Ansari also recalled being present for the famous Hawaii sessions during the making of My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, sharing a story of the time a suitcase delivery man came into the studio and Kanye played the guy music from the album in order to get his input, all while he was trying to pick out a suitcase. N-Words in Paris 11 times. During the Watch the Throne tour with Jay-Z, the two played their song N-Words in Paris 11 times in a row at one of their shows. Their show, which was in Paris. Why N-Words in Paris? In a 2013 interview with Zane Lowe, Kanye revealed to the world how the song got its name.
Why do you think the song Niggas in Paris is called Niggas in Paris? Because niggas was in Paris.
300 like the Romans. On his 2013 song Black Skinhead off of his album Yeezus, Kanye delivers this line, a line that is factually incorrect.
Phone in the morning, and I'm zoning, they say I'm possessed. It's an omen, I keep it 300, like the Romans.
You see, Kanye is referring to the movie 300, but the movie is actually about the 300 Spartan men who fought the Persians, not the Romans, as Kanye seems to believe here. Elton John on All of the Lights. Elton John was a part of the famous Hawaii sessions for My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, as he is actually the one playing piano on both the All the Lights interlude and throughout the regular track.
Get in mine, baby. Gotta let these niggas, gotta let these niggas. Yeah. Get it right, baby. She go and get your own.
Also providing vocals during the end of the track. Elton has since called My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy his favorite hip-hop record, referring to it as the hip-hop Sgt. Pepper during an episode of his Beats One podcast, Rocket Hour.
The whole album, in fact, I think of all the hip-hop albums I've ever heard, this is probably my favorite. I just think it's a work of brilliance. It's the hip-hop Sgt. Pepper, as far as I'm concerned. This is All of the Lights by Kanye West.
Kanye's cousin. On Kanye's 2016 album, The Life of Pablo, he calls out a cousin of his 2 times. A cousin that apparently had stolen a laptop of his in the past and threatened to leak a sex tape of his that he found on the laptop. On Real Friends, Kanye revealed that he had to pay this cousin $250,000 just to get the laptop back.
I had a cousin that stole my laptop that I was fucking bitches on. Pay that nigga $250,000 just to get it from him.
After the release of The Life of Pablo that year, another one of Kanye's cousins named Franklin Lawrence spoke to the Daily Mail and confirmed that the incident did in fact happen back in 2012. Lawrence went on to reveal that Kanye would cut off family ties after the incident, and he believes that it led to Kanye becoming distrustful of many people in his inner circle, something Kanye clearly dives into on the track Real Friends, as he simply wonders how many real friends he truly has.
Real friends, how many of us are real friends? To real friends, to the real end, to the reals fall off, to the wheels don't spin.
Kanye says good morning politely. Back in 2013, Kanye returned home from a late night out when he was greeted in his garage by the paparazzi. Despite it being 4 a.m. at the time, the man recording tells Kanye good morning. And well, Kanye wasn't too thrilled with him.
Hey, good morning, Kanye.
Shut the fuck up.
Alright, so that concludes part 1 of this 2-part series. If you liked this video and would like to support the channel, be sure to like and share this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications so you don't miss out on part 2. I'm excited to keep diving deeper and deeper in the next video and uncover some more obscure facts about Kanye. So I'll see you then.